Hi, I'm Joni Marks, and welcome to a new episode of Finding True Love After 50. The material is edited excerpts from my new book titled Finding True Love After 50, available on Amazon.com. Step 8, Sensory Work. In this episode, we will look at Step 8 in a 10-step process for applying acting techniques to loving more of yourself after 50. Sensory work in acting involves using the senses to bring depth and authenticity to a performance. From smelling food or fragrances to coming out in nature, taking in the sights, the sounds, and the smells around you. Sensory work is as valuable for your personal life as it is for a professional actor. For individuals seeking to foster self-love after 50, engaging in sensory work can help reconnect you with the present moment and the richness of life, often muted by years of routine and self-neglect. Many of you might be thinking sensory work. I hadn't really thought about that before. So I want to guide you now through 3 steps to help you really hone in on all that is going on around you and all that you're feeling, but you are not on a conscious level. It's just sort of going in and going out. So we're going to talk about how to enhance the enjoyment of our everyday life with understanding the sensory work and understand the importance of being aware of our senses. Here are 3 steps for engaging in sensory work in your personal life. 1, mindful observation. Choose an object, a sound, or a scent to focus on. Observe it with all of your senses, noting every detail and how it makes you feel. This sensory practice enhances mindfulness and presence. 2, sensory memory. Recall the memory that evokes happiness and contentment. Immerse yourself in that memory with all of your senses. This can help reinforce positive emotions and a sense of gratitude. 3, sensory affirmation walks. Take a walk, focusing on the sensory experiences around you, the sights, the sounds, the smells, and texture. Pair this with silently repeating your affirmations from Step 7, which we covered in the previous episode. And please be sure to journal your experience with each of these. Next, I'm going to guide you through 3 journal prompts, but I want to share the experience that I had with sensory work. I remember as a little child when I was like 5, going into the shoe repair store with my mother and just loving the smell. I mean, to most kids, that would not be a great smell. It's very acrid. There's the dyes and the leather and the banging and all of these polish removers. There's all of these very strong smells. But I would love, every time we went in there, I just loved to go in there and smell it. It never occurred to me until I got into acting class and where we were talking about sense memory and sensory work that I connected it. The story is my grandfather was a shoemaker and he had a shoe store. And I lived in Chicago where his shoe store was until I was 2.5 years old. So obviously when I went into his shoe store, and shoe stores all pretty much have that same smell because they're all working with the same items, he must have been so loving and kind and delightful that I was there with him that it made me so happy. So that when I came to California and we found this shoe store, I was so happy. So it wasn't until I went to my acting class that I associated that smell And why I like going into the shoe store, because it obviously reminded me of my grandfather and the love that I felt when I was in that environment. So for yourself, think about, what do you enjoy? If you like to bake and you love the aroma and the smell of yeast and all rising, think about where that came from. Did your mother bake? Did you like to go to a bakery? So that's an example of how you can sit with a cup of coffee and think about the smells that you've had and how important they are to you, and hook up, why is that so? Create time after this episode to engage in these 4 journal prompts. 1. What specific smells bring you joy and why? 2. Describe a moment of complete happiness in sensory detail. How can you bring elements of this into your daily life? And 3. Reflect on sensory work exercise that was particularly impactful. What did it reveal about your current state of self-love and presence? Thank you for joining me for this episode. And to order a copy of my new book, Finding True Love After 50, visit Amazon.com. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I invite you to please do so. And until you and I meet again, remember, every morning, look into your mirror, smile at yourself, and say, I am my own best friend, for I came into this world to be myself. For that I came. Thank you, and all my best.
How can Joni Marks help you overcome loneliness and live your best life after 50? By ordering Joni's new book, Finding True Love After 50, subscribing to Joni's popular YouTube channel, enrolling in Joni's acclaimed online courses at udemy.com, and subscribing to Joni's podcast, Finding True Love After 50, on all major podcast platforms. If you host or produce a podcast, arrange an engaging interview with Joni by emailing her today at joni@jonimarks.com.